Okay, so good evening, Dr. Benjamin. So basically today we will be representing about a study of the echo chamber effect in social media based on media dependency theory on the US political election. So basically today our group member is Li Xiang, we have Wang Fan, and then we have Zhu Yongchai and also Zhao Chunyang. Yeah. And lastly is me, Amina Shakira binti Muhammad Hani. So today we will be looking at the introduction, significance and contribution of the study, theoretical framework and literature review, and lastly the reference. So today we will be looking at the introduction, which is the research background. So basically in recent years, the widespread popularity of social media has affected all aspects of human life, including politics. Social media platforms have become an integral part of disseminating political information, shaping public opinion and facilitating political discussion. Despite increasing civic political participation, they have also created real problems. Taking political election as an example, the echo chamber effect of social media significantly affects voter judgment. Example, users are more likely to be exposed to information that is consistent with their beliefs, creating a closed information environment, also known as an information cocoon. So, using Twitter as a basis, this study delves into the relationship between personal media use, information seeking, and the echo chamber effects to understand the potential impacts of social media and democratic decision making during political election in the US. In the 2016 Trump and Hillary presidential election will serve as a key of a case study. So next, we will be seeing the problem statement. So basically, the main issue explored in this study will revolve around the potential consequences of audience, increasing reliance on social media as a primary source of political information. The echo chamber effect is characterized by the reinforcement of existing ideas by audiences through exposure to like-minded viewpoints and limited exposure to dissenting viewpoints, which at the political level can lead to polarization and fragmentation of political discourse. This phenomenon has triggered discussion about the impact of social media on the formation of political opinions and its impact on the development of democratic processes, especially during US political election. So, as social media platforms play an increasingly prominent role in shaping public discourse, it is crucial to understand how media dependence theory can be applied to analyze the echo chamber effect. So next is the research objective. So number one, research objective one is to investigate the extent of media dependence. This is because assessing the media dependence of Twitter users during US political election, compare this to other sources of information to understand how much individuals rely on social media platforms for political information. Next is assessing selective exposure patterns. So basically, exploring selective exposure patterns of Twitter users. This is to investigate whether individuals tend to seek out information that is consistent with their existing political beliefs and how this behavior can lead to an echo chamber effect. Lastly, is to assessing the impact of the echo chamber effect on citizen political participation. This one is to assessing the impact of echo chambers on political participation. Examine whether individuals exposed to the echo chamber effect are more engaged in political discussion, voting or civic engagement. And also, and how to the echo chamber effect individuals' political stances and electoral judgment.
This part is research questions. Question 1. How does media dependence facilitate the selective exposure of political information in social media echo chambers? 1. How do you choose the source of platforms from which you obtain political information? 2. Have you noticed any purpose in types of political content you are exposed to on social media? 3. Do you believe that individuals achieve seek out information that aligns with their expressing political beliefs? Why or why not? 4. How do you prepare the influence of media dependence on the formation of political opinions within your social status? 5. Do you think there are inherent risks in relying on social media as a primary source of political information? Question 2. How does the echo chamber affect citizens' political stance and electoral judgments? 1. In your opinion, how does exposure to a narrow range of political perspectives affect the formation of political beliefs? 2. Have you observed any change in your political stance as a result of discussions or interaction within your social media networks? 3. Do you believe that echo chamber contribute to polarization in political discourse? Why or why not? 4. To what extent do you think individuals are aware of the echo chamber effect and its imposing influence on their political judgments? 5. How do you think exposure to diverse political perspectives can be encouraged within online spaces to mitigate the echo chamber effect? This part I want to talk about a research hypothesis. Hypothesis 1. Echo chamber effect in Twitter. There was an observed echo chamber effect on Twitter during the US presidential elections, leading users to selectively be exposed to information that was consistent with their existing political views. Hypothesis 2. Selective exposure and the echo chamber effect. There is a significant relationship between selective exposure of political information on Twitter and the extent of echo chambers. Users who are selectively exposed to information on social media are more likely to suffer from echo chamber effect.
Next is significance and contribution of the study. This research will help people understand the complex interactions between media audiences and political discourse. The practical significance of this research mainly covers the following aspects: insights into echo chamber dynamics. By focusing on the echo chamber effect, the study will shed light on how social media platforms contribute to the polarization of political views. It will provide specific insights into information sharing, selective exposure, and reinforcement of existing beliefs within digital communities. The role of media dependence in echo chambers. This research will examine how media dependence contributes to the creation and maintenance of echo chambers. It will investigate the extent to which individuals rely on social media for political information and how this reliance affects their exposure different. Impact on public opinion. Understanding the echo chamber effect in the context of political elections can help researchers and policymakers realize and examine its constraints and impact on public opinion. This research may shed light on the specific processes and details of how the echo chamber phenomenon affects political attitudes, beliefs, and ultimately voting results. Impact on the democratic processes.
by investigating whether the echo chamber phenomenon facilitates or hinders voters' informed rights and effective decision-making. The final result of the study may have a direct or indirect impact on society's democratic processes. It can address issues regarding citizens' political voice and the role of diverse information sources in shaping high-quality voters' policy suggestion. The study's conclusion may inspire subsequent researchers to call for and propose policy recommendations aimed at mitigating the negative effects of the echo chamber effect in social media. This may involve aspects such as platform design, media literacy, training programs, or strengthening regulatory measures to promote a more diverse and balanced information environment.
So now we will look at the theory framework. This one is the history and background. So media dependence theory was jointly proposed by two famous scholars in the field of communication, which is Melvin DeFleur and Sandra Ball-Rockich in the 1970s. The core purpose of the theory is to respond to the changing media and communication environment. Based on Melvin DeFleur and Sandra Ball-Rockich they have published a work called A Dependence Model of Mass Media Effects in 1976, which elaborated on the basic idea of media dependency theory. So, in the 1970s, people began to shift the focus from the impact of media on individuals to the impact of media on society and institution. At the same time, media technology has significantly advanced and expanded, and media channels have become more diverse. The emergence of media such as television, radio, and newspaper as mass communication tools has prompted scholars to explore how they affect individuals and society. So basically, we will look at the development and evaluation. So in the 1980s, which is dependent as a dynamic process. So in the 1980s, scholars have expanded the media dependence framework, conceptualizing it as a dynamic process evolving with changes in media technologies and social structure. Next, in the 1990s to 2000s, integration with new technologies. So basically, with the rise of new media technologies, scholars explore applying media dependence theory to these platforms, studying how individuals can enhance their media use pattern amid the emergence of the internet, social media, and digital communication technologies. Next, from 1990s to present, dependence and political communication. So basically, researchers apply media dependence theory to study political communication, investigating how individuals rely on media for political information and its impact on the democratic process. The theory aids in understanding the media roles in shaping political opinions and participation. Lastly, from 2000s to present, which is the global application. So media dependence theory has gained global traction as researchers apply it to diverse cultural and political contexts. It is widely utilized to investigate media dependence in various social settings and examine how media systems globally influence public opinion and behavior.
Next part, I want to talk about the important notion and the concept. Media dependency theory is a communication theory that seeks to better understand the importance between individuals and the media with a social contact. This theory holds that individuals rely on media to satisfy their various needs, and the extent of this dependency is affected by social structure and personal characteristics. The basic concepts of media dependency theory mainly include the following aspects. Dependencies. The concept of dependency is the core of media dependency theory, which aims to emphasize the dynamic relationship between individuals and the media in fulfilling their respective basic functions. Dependency refers to the extent to which an individual or society relies on media for information, entertainment, or other communication needs. Three types of dependencies. Emotional dependence. Emotional dependence on media to satisfy social and physiological needs. Instrumental dependence. Media dependence on specific information and resources needed for decision making. Cognitive dependence relies on media to interpret and understand the surrounding environment. Information flow. Information flow refers to the tendency of information to flow from media to individuals and vice versa. Studying how information flow affects dependency relationship is also a key topic in media dependency theory. Media system dependencies. Media system dependencies refers to the extent to which individuals and society as a whole rely on media system. Media dependency theory considers the wider social effects of dependency, exploring how the media influence public opinion, audiences, and behavior on a larger scale. Feedback loop. Feedback loops are ongoing patterns of interaction between individuals and the media, whereby media can both shape and be influenced by individual needs and preferences. The feedback loop concept emphasizes the interrelationship between individuals and the media. Acknowledging the media content is not static but changes based on audience feedback. Intermediary dependencies. The concept of intermediary dependencies refers to the phenomenon of interdependencies between different media, and individuals can use multiple media sources to satisfy their needs. This concept clarifies that individuals may turn to various media channels to obtain information or satisfy specific needs, creating a more complex web of dependencies. This part I want to talk about the theoretical framework model. The first step is social media. It spreads information and political options that leads to media dependency. Media dependency leads to echo chamber and selective exposure. Finally, all these things result in political polarization.
Application in the study appending media dependence theory to study of the echo chamber effect of the social media during U.S. politicization should examine how individuals' dependence on the media affects the way they attain information or formation of their political opinions. Combining the base concepts of media dependence theory and the things of this study. Following is the specific from appending media dependence theory in this study. I identified three types of dependency. Emotional attachment, exploring the emotional connections between individuals and political message on the social media. Survey users on whether they have emotional resonance with certain political narratives or perspectives. Instrumental dependence examines the extent to which individuals relied on social media from specific political information. Evaluate the role of social media as a political communications and decision-making tool. Cognitive dependence, analysis of how social media helps individuals interpret political events and from cognitive theories. Explore whether users actually use social media to search for information to understand political trends. Investigate information flow. Exploring the flow of the information on social media platforms during political elections. Investigate how information from state media, political connect creators, or the platform themselves influence user perceptions and opinions. Exploring media system dependence. Investigating the social level impact of social media on the dissemination of publication information. Examine how social structures as political institutions or media organizations contribute relationships of dependence, analyzing feedback loops, exploring the ongoing interaction between individuals and social media platforms, study how user engagement, feedback, and interaction behavior contribute to connect and algorithms on social media by developing feedback loops. Exploring media dependence. Investigate whether individuals with multiple social media platforms and satisfies their political information needs. Examine how the interaction between different media channels affect the echo chamber effect. Assess individuals and societal levels. Personal level. Investigate how personal characteristics such as political affiliations and online behavior influence media dependence. Explore whether certain demographic groups are more susceptible to echo chamber effects. Social level. Explore how social structure, political climate, and media landscape influence media dependence at non-collective level. Investigating whether systemic factors contribute to prevalence of echo chamber effects during political elections. Literature reviewed the effect of social media on elections evidence from the United States. Introduction of literature revealed the impact of social media and election results has become focused academic research in communication, sexology, and other related fields. Related research based on the U.S. president shows election is even more common. As an important platform from contemporary political discourse, Twitter has received special attention in the eyes of the media. Politicians and academics from this potential to shape voter attitude and influence elections outcomes. This literature review explores existing research on the impact of social media political Twitter on the U.S. elections outcomes. Social media and political elections. The role of social media in elections has been a topic of growing concern. Social media platforms, including Twitter, has changed the way political information and disseminated and consumed. Research highlights the potential of social media to amplify the polarization of political ideas, influence voter behavior, and serve as a platform for political mobilizations. Methodological approach. The research under reviewed adopts a unique methodological approach by leveraging nature variation in the adoption of Twitter across continents, used by the early adopters at 2007 South by XXSW. This approach allows the research to isolate the effect of Twitter adoption from other observed with bookended care to retakes and network outcomes because the platform's size popularity.
This part, I want to talk about Twitter's influence on election results. The findings suggest Twitter had a significant impact on election outcomes, particularly in the 2016 and 2020 presidential elections. The decline in Republican vote share observed in the study suggests Twitter's potential influence on voter preferences. However, this effect appears to be limited to presidential elections, with less pronounced effects observed in the congressional elections.
So next we will look at content analysis and voter persuasion. So basically the researcher uncovered the mechanism behind Twitter's influence based on evidence from survey data, primaries and textual analysis of millions of tweets. So content analysis suggests that Twitter content may have played a key role in persuading neutral voters to vote against Donald Trump. This insight affirms the role of social media in shaping political narrative and influencing voter sentiment. Okay, so basically, this is the conclusion. This study examines the pivotal impact of social media, specifically Twitter, on the outcome on the US presidential election. The research is methodologically rigorous and its findings provide valuable insight into current discussion about the role of social media in shaping the political landscape and influencing voter behavior. Future related research might build on this insight to explore the dynamics of social media influence on the electoral process. So basically this is our reference. And basically that's it from us. Thank you for listening, Dr. Benjamin. Have a nice day.